It's called science.
Hello friends, and welcome back to the Institute. We're picking up where we left off, continuing our deep dive into the connections between YouTuber Farrah Fiasco and Kiwi farmer Fat Girl Laugh Hate. As a reminder, we assert the same person, Farrah Fiasco, is responsible for both. We'll continue our strategy of discussing the timeline, with breaks to analyze the material. We'll first discuss the emails exchanged between Fat Girl Laugh Hate and Chantal Foodie Beauty, then the fallout from Fat Girls posting the emails to Kiwi Farms. We'll check in with Fat Girl on another gossip forum, YouTalkTrash, where she cools her heels while banned from Chantal's Kiwi Farms thread. And we'll discuss Fat Girl's return to the Chantal thread, which leads swiftly to disaster. Along the way, we'll discuss pasta, chest pieces, celebrity stalkers, and additional suspicious accounts. And yes, we have compilations. With all of that out of the way, let's explore the data. Picking up where we left off, on December 2nd, Chantal uploads a video in which she discusses her mental health and offers to correspond with her audience. She points out that many of her harshest critics are themselves overweight. She discusses the phenomenon of bullying and is even willing to chat with her critics under certain conditions.
I mean, I haven't logged on in a long time on this channel, and I was kind of grossed out by some negative comments. These are not comments from like a child, like a 12-year-old, like saying, "Oh, you fat pig." These are like comments from like adults. And the thing that gets me with adult bullying is that people wonder why children are bullying each other. Guess who they get it from? The parents. If you want to leave constructive criticism, or if you have a problem with me, send me an email directly.
That same day, Fat Girl Laugh Hate, who has otherwise been denied direct access, takes Chantal up on her offer and emails her. As evidenced from the subject line, Fat Girl's goal is to correct what she believes are Chantal's misconceptions about why a certain portion of her audience dislikes her. Note also that Fat Girl censors her PFP and email address. Fat Girl insists that she, along with all those on whose behalf she speaks, don't hate Chantal because of Chantal's being obese. Nonetheless, Fat Girl cannot resist getting in a dig. Rather, Fat Girl hates Chantal for Chantal's pretending to be a nice person when she is in fact a hypocrite and a liar. As evidence, Fat Girl cites Chantal having been seen in the comments sections and chats of other creators and saying nasty things to them, which Fat Girl also characterizes as spewing. While Chantal feels free to criticize others, Fat Girl points out that Chantal herself handles criticism poorly. All of these are, of course, points Fat Girl made in one of her earliest posts on Kiwi Farms. Fat Girl claims that Chantal, rather than engage with her critics, blocks them from further commenting, which was of course Fat Girl's experience. We saw numerous examples of this complaint in our last video, beginning with Fat Girl's first post in Chantal's Kiwi Farms thread. Per Fat Girl, Chantal's blocking people drives them to platforms like Kiwi Farms where she cannot remove comments. And of course we've also seen examples of this complaint in Fat Girl's posts in Chantal's thread. Fat Girl then asserts twice that Chantal has pissed off the wrong people. As presumable illustrations of the consequences, Fat Girl then presents elements of what she believes to be Chantal's docs, including Chantal's full name, her mother's alleged name, her father's alleged name, and her sister's name, along with Fat Girl's rather obnoxious habit of tagging each item with a saucy no. As we discussed in the last video, in the days immediately preceding this email exchange, Fat Girl indirectly asked for Chantal's docs, which resulted in an influx of information. One poster claimed to have likely identified Chantal's immediate family, though declined to post until verified. The poster did, however, suggest that Chantal's father may be deceased, having found what he believed to be the obituary, though this would later turn out to be incorrect. It may account, though, for why Fat Girl refers to Chantal's father in the past tense no? While Fat Girl is clearly attempting to intimidate Chantal with this information, it's unclear what her goal is. That is, she makes no demands of Chantal, nor does she indicate how this information is to be used against Chantal and Chantal's family. Of course, the intimidation might carry more weight were most of the information accurate. While elements of Chantal's real life were introduced during the November 29th influx, her family's information is not posted until 2 days after Fat Girl's email exchange with Chantal. In response, Chantal rightly mocks Fat Girl for the incorrect elements. She also rightly calls out Fat Girl for issuing a threat with no apparent consequences. Chantal then suggests that Fat Girl, per Chantal's viewer demography, is likely 40 and frumpy, and recommends Fat Girl, who has apparently been using an avatar in the email exchange, provide a picture of herself to demonstrate her physical superiority. In response, Fat Girl lists the qualities that make her a better sort of person, with the following to be discussed in the next section. That she is younger than Chantal. That she has a college degree. And that she is professionally employed as a mental health counselor. Regarding Chantal having been semi-doxed, Fat Girl orders Chantal to just deal with it, whatever that means. While throughout the exchange Chantal has assumed Fat Girl is a Kiwi Farms poster, Fat Girl's major slip-up is confirmation, and given her use of the royal we, giving the impression she speaks on behalf of the forum. Before we explore the consequences of Fat Girl's email exchange with Chantal, as in the previous video, we'll do a little comparative analysis. To the analysis, we'll add 2 phrases that show up in the exchange. First up is the phrase pasta, as Chantal's pronunciation clearly sticks in Fat Girl's craw. The second concerns Chantal's mention of parents who happen to be bullies, with Fat Girl complaining of Chantal bringing people's kids into discussion. With all that in mind, let's see if we find any further correlates between Fat Girl Laugh Hate and Farrah Fiasco. As we discovered in the last installment, there are some interesting correspondences that emerge when we compare statements made by Kiwi farmer Fat Girl Laugh Hate with those made by YouTuber Farrah Fiasco. Firstly, we have seen repeated instances both in Chantal's Kiwi Farms thread and in the email exchange wherein Fat Girl complains about Chantal blocking her, thus preventing her from communicating directly with Chantal, which results in Fat Girl taking to other platforms, whether Kiwi Farms or, as we shall see shortly, YouTalkTrash. Interestingly, Farrah has used this same language as in this April 2025 tweet wherein she suggests she, along with like-minded people, troll Chantal's partner on Call of Duty, since he won't have the option to block them. This tweet was subsequently discussed by Farrah Fiasco critic Busy Littleby, who pointed out Farrah's husband is, or certainly was, a YouTuber, and therefore presumably fair game for trolling. During a late July 2025 live stream, however, Farrah pointed out what she believed a significant distinction, the point of which escapes me.
Should we find Salah in game and troll him? Can't block us on COD, Sally. You want to troll my husband? That's a whole different ballgame. That's not YouTube, honey. Go ahead, troll my husband.
So feel free to troll someone who has appeared on YouTube, though be sure to do so only on other platforms and do so with Farrah's blessing. Honey. Moving on, we saw in the previous section that Fat Girl takes pleasure in being associated with Kiwi Farms, certainly the notoriety it confers. Farrah's relationship with the farms has, however, been more ambivalent. At times, she has presented herself as something of an authority, as in this September 2024 tweet, wherein she chides a Twitter poster for being shocked someone was banned from the farms, given that people are apparently banned all the time. Or in this tweet from late November 2024 where, responding to a Twitter poster who is considering joining the farms so as to archive Chantal content, encourages the poster to, quote, use a fake email and a VPN upon joining, which is also recommended on the sign-up page. Farrah has, however, rather smugly since walked back this sort of advice, as in these streams from a year later.
They think they're anonymous on Kiwi Farms. Hiding under a VPN with a Proton email doesn't make you anonymous. Just saying. I hate to tell you guys on Kiwi Farms, but having a Proton email and a VPN, you're not anonymous. You're not anonymous.
Regardless of Farrah's feelings on the farms, which we'll certainly discuss, she has acknowledged being a reader of Chantal's thread, as in this clip concerning an incident from fall 2020.
My second theory is a lot of people got in touch with the coldest water bottle. That was a big thing on the farms, along with just the whole girl world's hemisphere at that time.
In fact, she has even praised the Chantal Threads posters, at least legacy ones, for the quality of their research and for not engaging in the sort of behavior that fat girl did.
Back when Chantal first started and the Kiwi Farms thread about her first started, it was full of good information. The farmers back then, they were smart. They didn't try to interact with Chantal. Now you have cows, like certain reaction channels, that go into her chat and directly interact with her.
Generally speaking, however, Farrah does not have a particularly high opinion about Kiwi Farms. Shortly after joining the Goral World Twitter community in 2024, she mourned the loss of Chantal's thread. While it was not removed from Kiwi Farms, it was somehow destroyed by certain posters, which Farrah clearly did not appreciate. She has also spoken out against Kiwi Farms on her YouTube channel.
Me too, K-Buns. I really do hate the farms. They're so stupid. Kiwi Farms are already on her. Kiwi Farms is a cesspit. Kiwi Farms is a terrible place. Fuck the farms, though, to be fair. She actually wrote up a food pyramid, which I have been trying to find. I don't want to go to Kiwi Farms because, ugh. Kiwi Farms talks to everybody. Fucking douchebags.
Yeah.
Fuck the farms.
Yeah, I'm not interested in any of your self-righteous lectures, by the way.
The farms are trash. Oh, Kiwi Farms founder and Kiwi Farm. Don't go look at Kiwi Farms. Kiwi Farms is a cesspit. Fuck Kiwi Farms. It's a piece of shit website. Don't worry. The creator of the farms lives in Florida. His name is Joshua Moon. Hi, Josh. How's it going? You still in hiding? Kiwi Farms is the disgusting forum that doxes people. Don't go on the website. Giving you a heads up as someone, just don't go on there. Kiwi Farms can get fucked. He's a sick fuck. You heard that right. Josh Moon is a sick fuck. Kiwi Farms is
run for
cancer.
parliament?
Mm-hmm. Fuck Josh Moon. I just heard that she was doxxed on Kiwi, slums of the Kiwi Farms.
A lot of the information in this video came from a detailed Kiwi Farms thread and clip.
Ugh. Sorry, but ugh.
Next, let's consider the matter of doxing or unmasking, which, as we just heard, is one of Farrah's main complaints about Kiwi Farms, at least when she decided she no longer liked the platform. Fat Girl clearly embraces unmasking, given that she asked for Chantal's personal information, then confronted Chantal with it, some of which was even correct. Farrah, on the other hand, has made her feelings clear on the matter, likely the result of her own experience.
Again, not the I'm not condoning doxing. Doxing is fucked up. Don't dox people.
I say the result of her own experience because in the months preceding she was perfectly happy to retweet Chantal's address while in Kuwait. Next, we note that Fat Girl Laugh Hate seems to derive pleasure from having access to what she believes to be someone's personal information. Unsurprisingly, Farrah likewise has shown kindled joy when she believes she has the scoop. In mid-June 2025, the Institute released a video discussing Farrah's spicy Twitter history. Farrah was not entirely supportive, first filing a privacy claim. After her privacy claim was rejected, she filed a DMCA takedown, announcing her intent to sue for copyright infringement. A month after the video was uploaded, on July 25th, she made this rather curious tweet, which she deleted shortly thereafter, and which ought to have come with red string. The following day, during a live stream in which she addressed her critics, Farrah had strong words for the Institute.
Girl, I know you live in the US and I know who you are. You might want to rethink that privacy thing because now I know who you are, okay? Do you really want me to tell people right now whose YouTube sock you are? Because I can, but I won't. I want to see what you do with this information. I know who you are, and that's that.
If you are confused about the privacy thing, Farrah forgot that she was suing for copyright infringement and claimed instead she was involved with the Institute in a lawsuit concerning privacy. And rather than giving the Institute a moment to catch its breath, she decided to go whole hog.
Eggs on legs, eggs over easy, ova fricta, legs over easy is eggs over easy on the farms, is New Zealand. She also lives in Oklahoma.
While nothing came of the lawsuit, It was interesting to observe Farrah's confidence in connecting the institute to another commenter and to a physical location, which she was happy to announce on several platforms. Unfortunately, like Fat Girl, she failed to realize a phone book demands accuracy if one expects to put it to good use. Let's turn next to the claims Fat Girl makes about herself during her exchange with Chantal, a concept known as power leveling, which we shall discuss more formally in the next section. First, Fat Girl claims to be younger than Chantal. This shall be our first major distinction, as Farrah is 2 years older than Chantal. Of course, Fat Girl may be mistaken about Chantal's age or, more likely, simply getting in a dig. Next, Fat Girl claims, unlike Chantal, to have completed college. This is true of Farrah as well, who has spoken about her education.
Ooh, RGB, if you're a therapist, what do you think of me? I studied psychology. I have my degree in psychology. Let's talk.
Farrah has, however, made conflicting statements about her degree, as in this clip, for instance.
Do I want to hurt babies or children? No. I have a degree in early childhood education. I would not waste the time, money, or effort into that degree if I hated children and wanted them dead.
While Farrah's initial major was in education, she switched to psychology. In this instance, defending herself against accusations of having said some unkind things about children, citing a background in education would be a more effective, if less honest, defense. Alternatively, Farrah is just a very inconsistent person.
I almost want to finish my degree and be certified as a therapist and just knock the shit out of all of these videos.
Finally, Fat Girl claims to be a mental health counselor, though one might question her competency, given her inappropriate language towards the likely mentally ill. While there is no evidence of Farrah having worked as a mental health counselor, we may throw this intriguing clip onto the pile.
I liked college.
So I entered the password and to on the طلبات.
Me too. I wanted to be a mental health counselor.
Yeah, good.
Finally, let's turn to our new tokens, Pasta and People's Kids, both of which are employed by Fat Girl Laugh Hate and Farrah Fiasco. As we saw in the email exchange, Fat Girl is at least amused by Chantal's pronunciation of the word pasta. In fact, she demands Chantal say it, both for Fat Girl and the Kiwi farmers she claims to represent. Chantal's pronunciation has been something of a sore point with Farrah, as evidenced by these tweets from her old Anti-Dread account. It has also been a major point of criticism on her YouTube channel, along with dialectal variation generally.
If someone's really hungry, I just make him like a bowl of pasta.
Listen to me, you stupid, stupid woman. It's not pasta. It's pasta. Pasta. People tell you how to pronounce something, and you willfully keep mispronouncing it. You're being racist. I'm Italian. I feel personally attacked. It's not pastina. It's pastina.
Pastina, you pasta, little pasta?
The video today is called "The Best Pasta in the World is Not in Italy." Mukbang.
This guy is also Canadian, and he says pasta like pasta, and it just, ugh. She still hasn't learned to say the word pasta.
I know, right, Teardrop? I can only take so much of her voice, too. It gets so cute.
Let's talk about the way you say pasta, which gets under my skin.
No, it's not poutine. Don't make me rage. I'm just joking.
Pasta, it's pasta. Don't make me rage. She says pasta like an asshole. I hate the way she says that. No, Vol says pasta. I've beaten him into submission with that word. He's never said pasta. How do we say pasta? Pasta. She says pasta. Listen, my parents are from Italy. Pasta. No offense if you say it pasta. But say pasta again, Fruity. Go ahead. Trigger me. It's pasta for me. It triggers me.
When she would bag your stuff and then she would say, thank ya.
Chantal, have you heard the way you and your family speak? Look at the llama. Look at the llama, cutie. Pasta. God, that nasally. Want to just run my face across a railroad track. Dare you make fun of someone's accent? Like, anyway, like, you know, look at the llama, cutie. Say some pasta with the llama.
Got some macaroni, so I'm going to try to make some pasta.
Pasta.
Like how you say pasta.
Oh, Bella.
Sugar, salt, pepper, ghee, macaroni spirals, 1 jar of pasta sauce.
Pasta. The fuck is pecon? Is it like pasta?
Whenever you can pronounce told and old, then come for me, okay?
Say llama. Say pasta. Llama. Pasta. Don't you know? You know? You want to make fun of someone's accent? I'll make fun of your fucking accent. Because she's got a southern accent. You think you're better than her? I know that she says pasta like a lot of Canadians do, but yeah, it's a little annoying. Listening to her try to speak Arabic, it's like listening to her try to say pasta. She just can't do it.
True.
She says she has a right to say pasta. That is correct, Chantal. You have every right to be stubborn and idiotic when someone tells you you're pronouncing something incorrectly.
Mushrooms are good in pasta and spaghetti.
Pasta. Pasta. Just say it with me, Chantal. Pasta.
Sorry, pasta. I have a right to say pasta.
No, you fucking don't. No, you do. You just sound stupid. I know people like from around where she's from in Canada. I don't ever hear people say pasta. It's always Italian things that she likes to mispronounce on purpose. It's pasta. I'm starting to think she hates Italians. Look at the llama, cutie. Look at the llama. Pasta. I want to get some pasta. I'm going to put my pasta sauce in the oven.
She wants to name her sister Pasta. That is so cute.
Can you please, Chantal, you're triggering the fuck out of me. You know how you don't like when people say hijab? I don't like it when you say pasta because that's not how you pronounce it.
Whatever.
That's a great way to offend Italians. Say pasta.
Whatever.
So clearly Fat Girl and Farrah share strong feelings on pasta.
Fucking uncultured.
For our final comparison, let's consider Fat Girl's complaint about Chantal bringing people's kids into conversations, which has also been a sticking point for Farrah.
And say, I talk about kids? What did you say about Belinda's kids? You said, fuck those kids.
Who the fuck cares?
Say about Ron's kids? You called him a retard.
There's the R word. Great, Chantal.
And of course the Slink Relaxed hands, which I can never find the right exact color for my skin, which you can see looks retarded.
But I talk about kids. No, I talk about your fucking parenting. Like, I can't believe these people are adults with children.
She can't help but bring the kids into it because she knows it hurts people. And again, stop fucking bringing people's kids into it, you cow. Can you stop talking about people's fucking kids? Like all of you fucking losers, stop talking about people's kids. She's bringing kids into it. She is 100% a horror cow.
I haven't much to add to this part of the discussion other than Farrah only seems concerned with disbarring certain people from discussing parenting and children. As evidenced by this tweet, she of course makes allowances for herself. Again, no single point confirms that Farrah Fiasco and Fat Girl Laugh Hate are the same person, but it's becoming clear the two share a similar background and way with words. Let's return to the timeline and see what Fat Girl elects to do with the emails. On December 4th, Fat Girl Laugh Hate posts her email exchange with Chantal to the Chantal thread on Kiwi Farms. The post is flagged by a moderator, and Fat Girl is banned from further posting in Chantal's thread. Moderator Broken Pussy subsequently reminds posters of the forum's rules. Of the 4 rules cited, Fat Girl manages to break 3 of them in a single post. We have already discussed A-logging, which the email exchange demonstrates, and we shall certainly see more of it. The second rule Fat Girl breaks is power leveling. Put simply, power leveling is revealing personal information about oneself. If one hopes to preserve one's anonymity, one ought to avoid doing this. And of course, revealing personal information can put one at risk for mockery, as was the experience of a Facebook group dedicated to mocking Amberlynn Reid. In late 2018, group posts were leaked to other gossip forums. Members of the group had been taking selfies in dresses featured in Amberlynn Reid's try-on hauls, with the goal of showing off how the dresses ought to look on their much slimmer bodies. While the members may not have been so large as Amberlynn, people pointed out the members were still wearing dresses from a plus-sized brand, meaning they too were fat. Worse, they'd tied their group memberships to their public Facebook accounts. Power leveling, however, can rapidly build a social media community, as members have a greater sense of personal connection to one another. For example, YouTube reaction channels, wherein members routinely share personal information like their birthdays and where they live. On platforms that encourage, though do not require, anonymity, this criteria isn't relevant. As with A-logging, the second problem with power leveling, at least on Kiwi Farms, is that it likely fails to advance a conversation. Consider this clip from Charlie Gold's first Amberlynn Reid reaction video.
I can walk more than 3 miles now. I can work out for over an hour and a half now. I can do things I haven't done for a long time now. I can shower for 45 minutes standing the whole time with no problem now. I can clean my house. I can move things up and down stairs. I have my growing health. If everything around me goes down, I have my health. Can you say the same?
As discussed previously, The point of this video was to analyze Amberlynn's relationship with her audience. Instead, we are told what makes Charlie Gold a better person than Amberlynn Reid, which consists of Charlie's ability to walk and to bathe. This might carry more weight were Charlie Gold a paralytic healed by Jesus, rather than a woman who ate herself to immobility, twice, yet still expects praise from her own audience, which, to be fair, she received. That is, if the goal is to learn more about Chantal or Amberlynn, one doesn't need to know what makes Fat Girl Laugh hate or Charlie Gold superior. Nor should one aspire to feel superior to a mentally ill, super morbidly obese woman unless one shares those features, though to a lesser extent, however slight. While there are instances in which A-logging and power leveling may be tolerable, Fat Girl's breaking of the rule concerning troll plans proves unacceptable. Let's be clear. One needn't be anonymous on the farms, nor does being on the farms preclude one from participating on other platforms such as YouTube. One may link one's accounts. One may not, however, behave as if one does so with the forum's support, or present oneself as a representative of the site. In the last video, we saw a post, which had been removed by a moderator, wherein Fat Girl states she would like to meet Chantal in person for the purpose of harassing her. And in the email exchange we saw Fat Girl threaten Chantal with a semi-accurate dox, before implying the exchange with Chantal was designed to give the thread something to discuss. It's no surprise then that Fat Girl Laugh Hate is banned from further posting in Chantal's thread, as this is the sort of behavior that has resulted in the termination of several social media platforms. While Fat Girl is permitted to post in any other thread she likes, she simply shows no interest. That same day, a moderator edits 2 previous posts from Fat Girl, suggesting there may have been additional incidents of her violating, or at least flouting, forum rules. 3.5 hours after posting the email exchange, Fat Girl creates a separate account, Ramona Resurrected. Interestingly, her quote references the December 1st video in which Chantal discusses her Kiwi Farms thread.
If I don't wear deodorant or I sweat a lot for some reason, it smells like Fritos or like crackers. Yeah, I know. You know what? Kiwi Farms, add that to your hate compilation about me.
As a reminder, this shout-out was very exciting to Fat Girl, who might have had more to say, given that a moderator edited it after her thread ban. Fat Girl makes a single post under the Ramona Resurrected account in which she references Chantal's piggy eyes. 4 minutes later, she gives a positive reaction sticker to the Fat Girl email exchange post. At some point, the Ramona Resurrected account is banned, though the ban has since been lifted. And 1/2 hour after Ramona Resurrected's single post, moderator Broken Pussy reminds the thread of the forum's rules, as we discussed. And 6 minutes after this, accurate social media links for Chantal's mother and her then partner are posted to the thread. In the previous video, I stated that Fat Girl Laugh Hate, when denied access to a given platform for her complaints, such as Chantal's YouTube comments section, moves to a new platform to continue her complaining. It's only logical, therefore, that Fat Girl seek out a new community in which to complain about Chantal, and now Kiwi Farms. On December 12th, Chantal uploads a video, which she deletes almost immediately, in which she claims that a troll contacted her mother. In addition to being discussed on Kiwi Farms, the incident quickly becomes a point of discussion in Chantal's thread on fellow gossip platform YouTalkTrash, which includes discussion of the email exchange between Chantal and Kiwi farmer Fat Girl Laugh Hate. That same day, December 12th, a YouTalkTrash poster claims responsibility for the emails. As expected, having been barred from posting in Chantal's thread on Kiwi Farms, Fat Girl Laugh Hate reinvents herself as Dread Riding Hood on YouTalkTrash, then explicitly links the 2 accounts. Fat Girl claims Chantal removed the video due to posting, quote, real-life info about her, which could potentially put Chantal's channel at risk for termination. While Fat Girl doesn't say specifically what about her Chantal posted, It could be she simply showed their email exchange unredacted, which would be an issue only if Fat Girl were stupid enough to email her from a non-burner account. Fat Girl then refers to Chantal's suggestion she is 40 and likely overweight. While she does not mention Chantal's demanding her critic post a picture of herself to prove she is the superior physical specimen, Fat Girl admits to sending Chantal a picture. Fat Girl claims that Chantal, quote, wasn't prepared that she was a normal-looking, normal-weight human. For whatever reason, Fat Girl did not include this portion of their exchange in her Kiwi Farms post. The following day, on December 13th, Fat Girl suggests that a Kiwi farmer was likely responsible for contacting Chantal's mother. She will say several times in her YouTalkTrash posts that family is, or at least should be, off limits. Of course, this raises the question of why she confronted Chantal with what she believed to be her relatives' names. She criticizes Chantal for being a poor sport since, quote, people talking smack about you on some forum is nothing. We note the familiar token gorge and its variants. Fat Girl goes on to imagine Chantal as a beast of burden, being ridden by her then-partner, who directs her via the promise of food. We'll consider this image further in the next section. That same day, Chantal puts out a video addressing her haters, referencing Fat Girl specifically. As with the previous video, this one is also quickly deleted. Fat Girl references the video several times in her December 13th post, clearly enjoying her notoriety. Unsurprisingly, she also complains about Chantal blocking people, apparently preventing them from explaining to strangers why they don't like some other stranger. As a curious example of Chantal's hypocrisy, she points out Chantal's commenting on someone's channel about a man who passed himself away, whom Chantal called slobby. A month earlier in Chantal's thread on Kiwi Farms, a new poster happened upon this comment, which Chantal had made a year earlier, likely summer 2016. And yes, Chantal absolutely referred to a self-induced dead man as slobby, and that he wouldn't be missed. The YouTube page in question is an archive of the video diaries of Ricardo Lopez, a man who sent a letter bomb to Icelandic singer Björk before taking his own life. For the record, Fat Girl is chiding Chantal for not being more sympathetic to someone who, when someone else failed to reciprocate his attention, decided sulfuric acid was an appropriate response. Fat Girl then reminds Chantal, who is apparently reading the YouTalkTrash posts, that she warned Chantal that Kiwi farmers had started digging into her personal life, though Fat Girl thought this was wrong. As before, Fat Girl elected to not include this alleged portion of their conversation in her Kiwi Farms post, leaving only her attempt to intimidate Chantal with a semi-fail dox. Fat Girl claims to have initially tried to help Chantal, to have been one of many to have offered her advice and tips, only to end up blocked. This claim, along with the following, also deserves a closer look. On December 14th, Fat Girl opens up to the posters on YouTalkTrash. She claims to have initially enjoyed Chantal's content. Unfortunately, Chantal soon turned on Fat Girl Lopez hate. She considered supporting Chantal's Patreon, and to have planned on sending her a care package of pickle-flavored items, a Chantal fave. Fat Girl's love language shall make for another interesting point of comparison. Finally, Fat Girl asserts that due to Chantal's weight she is incapable of being kidnapped or taken advantage of, as the physically immobile are well known for their strong defenses. December 14th marks the end of Fat Girl's available YouTalkTrash posts. She has, however, given us some interesting points for comparison. Let's take a moment to see how her statements compare to Farrah Fiasco's. Fat Girl Laugh Hates YouTalkTrash posts offer interesting correspondences with, and departures from, YouTuber Farrah Fiasco. We haven't space, and I certainly haven't the patience to discuss everything. Nonetheless, let's enjoy a highly abbreviated comparative analysis. Let's start with Fat Girl's YouTalkTrash account itself, both the name Dread Riding Hood and the image. As discovered by Goral World Reactor The Gaining Ground, the name Dread Riding Hood can be connected directly to Farrah Fiasco.
So I decided to hit Google up, and I said, well, let me see if I can find anything that has to do with the word dread and Farrah or Farrah's legal name. I see her legal name with the handle dread.writing.hood. Instagram. That's the YouTalkTrash name, right? So there is a Instagram account at dread.writing.hood that has the same legal name as Farrah Fiasco. Not just the same legal name, it's her picture.
Dread Riding Hood is also the name of an item available for use in the multiplayer, first-person shooter Team Fortress 2. Prior to becoming a Chantal reaction channel, Farrah did gaming content, and interestingly enough, Team Fortress 2 was one of the main games featured in her content. Consider also Fat Girl's PFP, that of a young woman smoking luxuriously. There is a noticeable similarity to the young woman featured on the banner for Farrah's YouTube channel. Next, we consider the issue of weight. As a reminder, Fat Girl claims to have sent a picture of herself to Chantal to prove she was of a, quote, normal weight. This claim is, of course, at odds with Farrah, who at this time was super morbidly obese herself, as she discusses in this clip concerning her later weight loss surgery.
Now here's the moment you're all waiting for. 300 pounds. That was about 4 days before my surgery. And there's a close-up. I look like a totally different person. And I'll never go back. Thanks for watching, guys.
Farrah has, however, shown a certain talent for the proper camera angle, as in this following clip. So if she is also Fat Girl Laugh Hate, and she sent an actual picture of herself to Chantal, it's possible the picture was heavily curated.
Guys want to see what Fat Farrah looked like? You want to see Fat Farrah? This is Fat Farrah with glasses. Look at that. Look at that little fatty. Get your Kiwi Farms. Get that out there, scumbags. That's how fat I used to be. That's how much your face changes. Like, look, you're like a whole different person. It's wild.
I'll note also that Farrah's statement to Kiwi Farms is very similar to the one made by Chantal in her December 1st video.
Yeah, I know. You know what? Kiwi Farms? Add that to your hate compilation about me.
Assuming Fat Girl Laugh Hate and Farrah Fiasco are the same person, as I do, I would remind her, quote, people talking smack about you on some forum is nothing. In her December 13th post, Fat Girl imagines Chantal's then partner attempting to direct Chantal's behavior by, quote, riding her like a horse with a pizza dangling over her mouth on a fishing pole. Farrah makes a remarkably similar statement concerning Chantal and another partner, this time with respect to a diet rather than employment.
Why doesn't Salah just save a lot of money and just buy one of those giant salt lick things that you give to like horses and stuff? Just get her a big one, like a dinner-sized plate. I bet you could make that. Put it on a fucking necklace, let it hang from her gullets, and just let her, when she gets hungry, just give her a salt lick. Maybe she'll lose weight.
We also saw in the December 13th YouTalkTrash post where Fat Girl claimed she warned Chantal that Kiwi farmers were digging into her personal life, and that Fat Girl, quote, thought it was wrong. We noted two instances of misrepresentation. First, Fat Girl failed to show this portion of their conversation when she posted the email exchange, meaning she was either uncomfortable with sharing that portion on Kiwi Farms or it never took place. Second, by her own admission, Fat Girl was attempting to uncover personal information about Chantal. She indirectly requested Chantal's personal information. And when she had what she believed to be Chantal's personal information, threatened her with it, then chided Chantal's response saying, quote, you got doxed, so deal with it. It's therefore interesting that following her own experience with doxing that Farrah would contact federal law enforcement, which is of course one way of dealing with it, though likely not what she meant in her exchange with Chantal. Misrepresentation is, however, a theme shared by Farrah Fiasco and Fat Girl Laugh Hate. Earlier in the video, I referenced Farrah misrepresenting a copyright lawsuit as a privacy battle. Let's revisit that incident for additional examples.
There's a channel on YouTube. It's called NZ Institute of Tricknology. I am currently in a privacy battle with them for using my gaming content, not even my Chantal content.
As discussed, there was no privacy battle, nor did the copyright lawsuit cite any of Farrah's gaming content. I suppose I'll be generous and suggest Farrah and Fat Girl simply have poor memories, which is much nicer than calling someone a liar. One of Fat Girl's stranger claims is that Chantal somehow turned on her, which she mentions in her December 13th post on YouTalkTrash. This betrayal follows Fat Girl's attempt to, quote, help Chantal by giving her advice and tips on how not to be a gigantic mess, though one assumes Fat Girl phrased it more politely, at least initially. Let's compare Fat Girl's claim with the following from Farrah.
Because I'm doing this publicly, I'd like your viewer participation, letting me know your favorite low-carb, satisfying, healthy recipes.
I tried that, Chantal. I think it was back in 2018, 2019. I don't know what it was, but I offered you a suggestion. I just said, hey, why don't you try quinoa instead of rice or fries? And you let me have it. So I'll refrain.
So now we have two people, one really, who were upbraided by Chantal for offering dietary advice, which is amusing though unsurprising, given Farrah's own weight loss failures prior to surgery. Prior to this betrayal, Fat Girl claims to have enjoyed watching Chantal, and that she thought Chantal to be a nice person. In the last video, we saw Farrah express the same sentiment, which I'll repeat here.
Did you start out liking Chantal? I know I did. Back in 2017, I started liking Chantal. That's how I found her. I liked her. A lot of us started that way. Remember all that shit all that fucking time ago? Yes, we all liked Chantal.
And when Fat Girl and Farrah particularly enjoy a YouTube content creator, they have a particular way of showing it. Had Chantal not betrayed Fat Girl Laugh Hate, she might have gotten an additional subscriber to her Patreon. In addition, Chantal might have gotten an Amazon care package of, quote, mainly pickled flavored things, which is an interesting choice for someone also throwing out diet advice. In 2020, Farrah sends to Chantal reaction channel Yaba the YouTube Underground a drawing of Chantal as Reptar from the cartoon series The Rugrats. Yaba subsequently features the drawing in a community post on her channel. In the comments section, Yaba compliments Farrah's drawing, and we can see that Farrah is commenting with the same account as her YouTube channel, though it would have had a different name at the time. When Farrah joins the Goral World Twitter community in summer 2024, she continues this theme of gift giving. Having purchased a cameo from Chantal in which she asks Chantal to recreate her infamous 2019 Spicy Noodle Challenge, Farrah first attempts to give the cameo to Queen of WTF. She then attempts to give it to Yaba before later reacting to it herself, as there were no takers. And in October, she sends Yaba a keyboard to destroy, as Yaba is unable to gain access to Chantal's partner's keyboard. In this section, we have seen another striking set of similarities between YouTuber Farrah Fiasco and Kiwi Farms poster Fat Girl Laugh Hate. Both began as Chantal fans before being betrayed after giving Chantal advice. Both enjoy giving presents to YouTube channels they enjoy. Both employ the name Dread Riding Hood and show an affinity for lovely girls with cigarettes. Both have a habit of lying, or at least misremembering the past, with each presented in a more flattering light. Let's return to the timeline and discuss Fat Girl's return to Kiwi Farms, which goes rather badly. Sometime during the week following Fat Girl Laugh Hate's posts on YouTalkTrash, she is released from her thread ban, and on December 22nd, she resumes posting in Chantal's thread on Kiwi Farms. The posts are unremarkable, merely continuing Fat Girl's habit of directly addressing Chantal, complaining about Chantal, and use of familiar tokens such as pig and slob, as we discussed previously. On January 6, 2018, Fat Girl complains about Chantal's self-evident lack of cooking skills. She then compares Chantal to a giant ball of corn syrup and lard, as well as a big ball of trash. Before we discuss the response to this post, we need to recall an issue discussed in the previous video, that being Amberlynn Reid's thread. In September, there were a series of posts flagged for violating forum rules. This included threats of trolling, such as a poster announcing they would be calling a subject's alleged employer, or announcing they troll a subject on another platform, in this case, YouNow. This would also include posts that add nothing to the discussion, such as pointing out that a super morbidly obese person is super morbidly obese, or attempting to directly engage with a subject via the platform. As we saw in Chantal's thread, moderator Broken Pussy reminds posters of the forum rules, with a certain subset of posters refusing to follow them. We also recall that site owner Null discussed the problem and proposed a solution.
It was a containment board. I had never met people on my forum who would attack my moderators. It drove me insane. I need staff to make shit work. But if you ever tried to tell an Amberlynn person, don't do this because it makes the site look shitty, they would directly attack the moderators and call them like skanks and shit. They were fucking crazy. I had to quarantine them into their own board. And it was the only board where I allowed users to dox each other. And it worked. After a while, all the problems stopped. All the bad users who were fucking insane dipshit asshole motherfuckers left of their own accord, and now it's one of the better boards on the site.
In the days immediately preceding the launch of Amberlynn Reid's board, there is a flurry of unmaskings of site users who violate the rules, with a poster named Dynastia leading the charge. And on January 7th, the day after Fat Girl's post about Chantal being fat and a poor cook, Dynastia posts what he claims is the identity behind the Fat Girl account. For modesty's sake, the content has been redacted. As to why Fat Girl is made an example of, as opposed to some other poster, I will suggest 3 reasons. 1. Despite having been released from her thread ban, Fat Girl continues to make the same sort of non-informative posts. 2. Fat Girl's email exchange with Chantal was truly over the line, and was the sort of behavior that eventually led to the termination of YouTalkTrash, along with attempts to revive it. 3. As we discussed in the previous video, failure to tamp down this sort of behavior can quickly ruin a thread. I won't pretend to know how Dynastia began his investigation into Fat Girl Laugh Hate, but in a post in Amberlynn's thread, it begins with simply searching a username, so it's possible Fat Girl was reusing a username, such as her YouTalkTrash account named Dread Riding Hood, on another platform, such as Instagram. Responding to Fat Girl's emailing Chantal and threatening her with personal information, Dynastia in turn threatens to email a school district associated with the alleged person behind the account and inform them of Fat Girl's behavior. This would be an instance of outdated information, as the woman in question worked as a teaching assistant in the school district, likely while pursuing an associate's in early childhood education, though by this point was no longer involved. In response to Fat Girl's denial that she is this person, Dynastia points out 2 critical errors made by Fat Girl. The first is Fat Girl's failure to use a VPN. While this is possibly not necessary for those in major population centers, both Fat Girl and the woman, later identified as YouTuber Farrah Fiasco, are located in a small community, which at the time had a population of less than 20,000. Recall from earlier discussion Farrah's recommending a VPN and a fake email to those thinking of registering with Kiwi Farms. The second error is Fat Girl's recycling of images. Dynastia points out that the avatar for Fat Girl's alternate account, Ramona Resurrected, may also be found on Farrah Fiasco's Pinterest board, along with Fat Girl's main avatar. As the back and forth between Dynastia and Fat Girl Laugh Hate continues, moderator Broken Pussy posts a selfie from Farrah Fiasco's DeviantArt account, which, again, has been redacted. She also concedes that removing Fat Girl's thread ban was a mistake. In response, as she did with Chantal, alleged mental health counselor Fat Girl Laugh Hate accuses Broken Pussy of being bipolar. She then asserts that Broken Pussy is not a nice person. This seems a strange thing to expect of a moderator on what Fat Girl terms a hate forum. She's also a trash bag, and one of a surplus of fat moderators. Fat Girl then complains that she is being punished for directly trolling Chantal, while people are allowed to unmask others. So it's likely Fat Girl never understood what the problem was. Nonetheless, she promises to laugh when Farrah Fiasco takes the moderators to court for harassment. She bemoans Dynastia's threat to contact someone's employer, and therefore someone's job. Which is interesting given that Farrah Fiasco has a history of threatening people's income, or aligning herself with people who do so. She then complains that the moderators ganged up on her because Broken Pussy couldn't handle her alone. One wonders what their behind-the-scenes conversations were like. She then warns Broken Pussy to vet whether the picture she posted from Farrah Fiasco's DeviantArt account is of a minor, lol. And with that, Fat Girl Laugh Hate disappears from the thread, nor does she appear in any other threads. She'll return to the thread in August 2024, 1 week after Farrah Fiasco joins the Goral World Twitter community. And a year after this, in August 2025, Farrah Fiasco is connected to Fat Girl Laugh Hate, which eventually Chantal hears about.
By the way, are you talking about that Farrah Fiasco lady? She was outed, I guess, back in 2018 as having a Kiwi Farms account where she called Salah a sand N-word.
The account she's talking about was banned in 2018. So how could I have called Salah anything if it got banned? I did not write anything about Salah ever like that on Kiwi Farms or anywhere. Well, Twitter, but you guys know that.
While Chantal is not the most eloquent of speakers, Farrah is misrepresenting her point. 1. Farrah was outed in 2018 as having a Kiwi Farms account. She simply hadn't yet adopted the Farrah Fiasco identity. 2. The Fat Girl Laugh Hate account did make the statement involving a racial slur, though in late September 2024, a month after Farrah resumed using her Kiwi Farms account. 3. There is no evidence the account was banned in 2018, but if it were, at least for a time, how would Farrah know? Let's review what we've discussed and observed, and maybe consider 1 or 2 more tantalizing clues as we wrap up. This investigation began with a Farrah Fiasco tweet, which we've discussed, in which she advised someone thinking of registering an account with Kiwi Farms to use a fake email and a VPN. In fact, from the moment Farrah became a person of interest in the Goral World Hater Nation thread on Kiwi Farms, there was suspicion she had an account and was likely a poster in Chantal's thread. We needn't consider here the course of the investigation, rather focus on the claim, which is YouTuber Farrah Fiasco is also Kiwi farmer Fat Girl Laugh Hate. To this we add the Ramona Resurrected account, used briefly when Farrah was banned from posting in Chantal's thread. And 2 accounts called Dread Riding Hood, one on gossip forum YouTalkTrash, and the other on Instagram. To these I'm adding recent, more speculative findings. On August 3, 2017, 3 months before Farrah registers the Fat Girl Laugh Hate account with Kiwi Farms, a guest account FiddleDee comments on Chantal in the mukbang YouTuber's thread. The poster describes a, quote, morbid curiosity in watching an addict slowly kill themselves. In late August 2024, after joining the Goral World Twitter community, Farrah makes a similar, though less measured, statement, saying, "I cannot believe we get to watch someone eat herself to death firsthand, and we don't have to pay for it." And a month later remarks that YouTube, quote, endorses the world's longest snuff film. The FiddleDee guest account describes Chantal as a slob, which we saw numerous examples of from the Fat Girl account and from Farrah Fiasco herself. And FiddleDee describes Chantal's quote, which laugh as particularly irksome. We recall that among Fat Girl's numerous complaints in her first post was how much she hates Chantal's which laugh. On August 5th, FiddleDee complains about Chantal's poorly prepared tomato sauce and her pronunciation of the word pasta, both of which are sore spots for Farrah, though we needn't revisit the compilation. Shortly after FiddleDee begins posting, site owner Null removes the guest account feature, meaning if one wants to post on the farms, one must register an account. And as we've discussed 3 months later, Farrah joins the farms as Fat Girl Laugh Hate. In the last section, we heard Farrah claim Fat Girl Laugh Hate is banned in 2018, and I will concede it's possible she's thread banned again. We know Farrah turned to a backup account to continue posting. Is it possible she did so again? 5 months after Fat Girl's last post, a new account FiddleDee is registered with the farms. For reasons to be discussed, I'm more suspicious of this account. Nonetheless, there are some commonalities worth noting. The main reason to be suspicious of a connection between this account and Farrah Fiasco is this account shows interest in subjects other than Chantal. In fact, The account eventually abandons Chantal's thread for noted craftswoman and taskmaster Amy Ramadan. Still, we can at least consider the appearance of certain tokens such as pig, which we saw with Farrah, though with the caveat the insult is hardly novel when applied to the foot-long Rubenesque. There is, however, a bit of fan fiction worth considering in which FiddleDee imagines Chantal as a pig corralled and tended by her audience, rather reminiscent of Farrah's fantasies of Chantal's behavior being directed by her partner via suspended food, with Bonus complaining about Chantal's laugh. One might also consider FiddleDee's use of the phrase slob, particularly when she moves to the Amy Ramadan thread and christens her fat slob Amy, which actually gets some traction. I considered some of FiddleDee's barely grammatical posts to be counter-evidence, though realized she was mimicking Amy Ramadan's unique approach to English. There are two curious posts in Chantal's thread from October 2018. In the first, FiddleDee discusses the gastrointestinal distress experienced by some diabetic patients when treated with metformin. In the second, FiddleDee discusses the challenges faced by medical staff when dealing with non-compliant, diabetic patients, implying she either works in a clinic or is a patient herself, presumably one of the good ones. Consider then this clip wherein Farrah discusses the period preceding her weight loss surgery.
5 years ago, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure and I had type 2 adult onset diabetes. They put me on metformin. It destroyed my stomach. No matter how good I stuck to my diet and how little sugar and carbs I ate, it just killed me.
Finally, in a 2019 post, FiddleDee quotes Amy Ramadan, citing specifically a rather nasty slur for those from the Middle East and North Africa. 5 years later, when she returns to the Chantal thread, Fat Girl uses this same slur. Unfortunately, I cannot say much more about FiddleDee, as the account stopped posting in February 2020, and the profile has been hidden. While Farrah may not care for the farms now, she has spoken positively of Chantal's thread as it was in 2020.
Chantal's thread was good back in the day, like maybe 5 years ago, 4 years ago, it was good because all that shit was happening with Nodder, right? And everybody was posting it on there. I was on there. I listened. I didn't write anything on there, but I fucking listened, right? Background: Chantal Olive Marie Sirot, Chantal El Rafai, however the fuck she says it, aka Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, Chantal Murray, Chinny, and Klotzo. Do you know where Klotzo comes from? It's the Kiwi farms. Like, one person in particular calls her Klotzo. At least he used to, or they used to. Sorry, I don't know if it's a he or she, but I just wanted to share that with you guys.
I'll make two observations. One, the FiddleDee account makes a single post in Chantal's thread in 2020, one day before its last post. 2. Chantal Murray's nickname Klotzo is first attested in June 2019, 3 weeks after FiddleDee registers an account with the farms. For our last bit of speculation, let's consider Farrah Fiasco's presence in the Goral World or Hater Nation YouTube community. We earlier saw her sending presents to Yaba, though she followed other reaction channels as well.
I had known who Gaining Ground was. I had actually subscribed to him, and I was watching him during the pandemic when he was covering Chantal. I liked him. And then all that shit happened with Charlie. And then I unsubscribed, and then I just kind of forgot about him. As a lot of people did, right?
With that in mind, consider this clip from a Gaining Ground live stream, 1 week prior to his falling out with reactor Charlie Gold.
Farrah, watch my reaction to Chantal's ramen vid. I died. Farrah, I died. I lived that video. And I die every time I watch it. If you don't want to watch the whole slurping and eating and noodling part, just go to the director's cut of that video and it gives you the best part, which is the end.
Is it possible Farrah attempted producing Chantal reaction content on her otherwise dormant YouTube channel, then known as Farrah Hellendale? It seems unlikely, given the large gap in uploads, really from 2014, when she was producing gaming content, to 2024, when she joined the Chantal reaction community. It is, however, tempting to speculate, given Farrah's love of the video, with her reaction to Chantal's recreating it being one of her first uploads when she joins the reaction community. In the comments section from a since-deleted Charlie Gold video, 3 months after the Gaining Ground live stream, Farrah mentions having attempted to send screenshots from a Craigslist post trolling Chantal. Presumably asked why not make a video, she doesn't make them anymore. Though difficult to see, note the avatar in a Red Riding Hood. Over the course of these videos, we have presented strong evidence that YouTuber Farrah Fiasco is also Kiwi farmer Fat Girl Laugh Hate. We have referenced other figures in the community, such as Charlie Gold and the Amberlynn Reid Facebook group, because all are of the same type, critics who respond poorly when given the same treatment. As we wrap up, we consider the question of whether Farrah has learned from her experiences. Superficially, she would seem to have learned something.
I don't try to ruin Chantal's life. Like, I don't go to Foodie's fans and reach out to them trying to get her to hate them. To hate her, sorry. I don't try to ruin her life. She does that on her own.
Of course, one may question Farrah's sincerity, as 7 months prior, she proposed unmasking Kiwi farmers who have YouTube channels. Not for sheer love of the game, nor even truly due to personal grievance. Rather, for the purpose of damaging Chantal's channel in the belief her chat is full of Kiwi farmers.
I wrote this on my Twitter today. I think we should do it. I think someone should do it. I don't know. I'm not going to do it because I'm not going on Kiwi Farms. But I think we should attach people that write things on Kiwi Farms, because the problem is the people in Chantal's chat are the ones talking shit about her on Kiwi Farms. I would love to just expose, and she would have no one left. She would have no one left in her chat. There would literally be Tracy. We have Teardrop, and then we have Melly. So, I mean, that's all you would have left.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to receive notifications, please ring the bell.
And now I'm just like, hi, like happier.
Twice if need be. And remember,